Hello, students. Welcome to Taichung Keda, the Yuyan Zhongxin, the story time. I'm Elder Bringhurst, Cheng Zhang Lao. Today we'll be reading Uncle Tom's Cabin. Let's review some vocabulary. Commonplace. Commonplace. Mount. Mount. Compassionate. Compassionate. Over here. Over here. Determined. Determined. Apology. Apology. Trio. Trio. Encounter. Encounter. Tavern. Tavern. Brutal. Brutal. Plantation. Plantation. Rural. Rural. Mercy. Mercy. Minister. Minister. Heed. Heed. Furious. Furious. Viciously. Viciously. Intend. Intend. Fulfill. Fulfill. Eternal. Eternal. Curse. Curse. All right. It is the mid-1800s in America, and slavery is still commonplace in many southern states, including Kentucky. There, a farmer named Arthur Shelby is in danger of losing his farm because of mounting debts. Though he likes his slaves, he has no choice but to make plans to sell two of them, Uncle Tom and Harry. This upsets the farmer's son, George Shelby, who looks up to Uncle Tom. Shelby's compassionate wife is also unhappy, since she had promised her maid Eliza that her child Harry would never be sold. As the Shelbys are discussing the sales of these slaves, Eliza happens to overhear their conversation. Eliza is determined not to be separated from her only child, so she begins to make plans of her own to run away with Harry. She writes a note of apology to Mrs. Shelby, and that night the two leave the farm to begin their journey to freedom in the north. Meanwhile, Uncle Tom has been sold and is being sent down the Mississippi River to his new home. While aboard the river boat, he strikes up a friendship with Eva, a young white girl. After Uncle Tom saves Eva from drowning, her father, Augustine St. Clair, buys him and takes him to their home in New Orleans. Eliza and Harry are still on the run, but they manage to meet up with Eliza's husband, who had previously escaped. The trio decide to head for Canada. Unfortunately, a slave hunter is hot on their heels. In a chaotic encounter, the slave hunter is shot by Eliza's husband. Instead of leaving him to die, the runaway slaves find medical treatment for the man who has been tracking them down. Down in New Orleans, Uncle Tom's relationship with Eva grows even closer. The two share a common religious faith, Christianity. Then, out of the blue, Eva becomes very sick, and on her deathbed, she has a vision of heaven. Moved by his daughter's death, St. Clair promises to set Uncle Tom free. Before he can make good on his pledge, though, St. Clair is killed in a tavern. His wife then sells Uncle Tom to a brutal plantation owner named Simon Legree, and Uncle Tom ends up in a rural Louisiana. When Tom refuses to whip another slave, Legree beats him without mercy for not following his orders. Legree also tries to destroy Uncle Tom's faith in God, but Tom never stops reading the Bible and ministering to the other slaves. Life on the plantation is difficult for Uncle Tom, and his Christian faith is put to the test on a daily basis. He almost gives up all hope, but then he experiences a religious vision. His faith renewed, Uncle Tom encourages a fellow slave to make a break for freedom. The slave heeds this advice, and she takes her daughter along with her. Upon learning about the escape, Legree is furious. He tries to make Tom reveal where the escapees have gone, but Tom refuses. Then, on Legree's orders, Uncle Tom is viciously beaten by the planter's overseers. On the verge of death, Tom forgives the men who have mistreated him. When George Shelby shows up intending to buy Tom's freedom, he is too late. He can only stand by powerless as Uncle Tom dies. Many of the escaped slaves eventually reach Canada, where they meet up with other escapees. They discover that quite a few of them are actually related, and they all decide to move to Liberia. George Shelby returns to Kentucky and frees all of his slaves, fulfilling a promise he made after Tom's death. "Witness, eternal God," says Shelby, "O witness that from this hour I will do what one man can to drive out this curse of slavery from my land." Reading comprehension. What could replace the word mounting in line 6 on page 60? Increasing, falling, leveling, or shifting? The answer is A, increasing. The sentence reads, "There a farmer named Arthur Shelby is in danger of losing his farm because of mounting debts." His debts were increasing and getting bigger, so he had less and less money. The answer is A, increasing. Which of the following does not describe Uncle Tom? A, religious. B, caring. C, selfless. Or D, faithless. The answer is D, faithless. Even though he encountered many problems, Uncle Tom never stopped believing in God. Who could be described as the villain in this novel? A, Augustine St. Clair. B, Simon Legree. C, George Shelby. Or D, Eliza. Of these characters, the only one that was really mean and evil was number B, Simon Legree, who beat Uncle Tom and asked him to beat other slaves. Thanks for reading Uncle Tom with us. We'll catch you next time.